Oh dear.
Good morning, everybody. It is Guido coming to you from the left side of the Atlantic.
And it's Pilgrim from the correct side of the Atlantic drinking tea in a mug that I bought from Guido's merch. Buy one today.
I need to redo my merch. That I promise that's coming. But a little fuzzy this morning, Pilgrim. But my coffee this morning is Bauhaus from Highwire, which was sent to me from the
Nice.
community. Thank you. It's delicious, and I need that
Nice.
strong coffee today
You do, because of why?
because I went to a shrimp and grits festival last night.
Oh, that sounds almost sexual. Shrimp and grits.
Oh,
Okay.
it was awesome, man. It was awesome. But I did it old guy style.
Oh.
We started at 1 and I was in bed by 10.
Well, that's an old guy thing, isn't it? Can't do the midnight thing.
Oh no. And I was DUN done by 10. I was ready to go to sleep. Oh man. Left Shoe says that's a small coffee cup. I know I had to put away the Christmas one that's that big around. Maybe I need to go purchase a giant one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, leave that to me. I'll deal with that. We can get you a two-pointer or something.
There's a scene in So I Married an Axe Murderer at the very beginning of it where Mike Myers is sitting there in a coffee shop and the girl brings it over and it's got this little handle on it. It is about that big around. It's like a bowl, like a soup bowl. And
With a
he's like,
tiny handle.
yeah, and he's like, excuse me, I ordered the large cappuccino. It's as big as his head.
Awesome.
But the coffee's going to get me
Uh,
going. Hey, we got Stickler, we got Wayne. That Pilgrim guy is here.
yeah, as
Left Shoes
always.
in the house. Charlie Horse just showed up. Good morning, guys. I hope everybody's doing well on this fine Sunday morning. We got good weather, but you said you got some real good weather coming for your
Yeah,
Easter,
we
huh?
got yeah, well, next week apparently we're getting a heat wave in the
Mm.
UK. Now, a heat wave in the UK is 25 degrees centigrade, which is not a great lot of heat for you guys, for you guys down in Florida.
Does that come out to
But
what,
yeah,
60 or so?
yeah, it comes out about
Yeah,
60-ish. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it because it'll be also lockdown is being sort of reduced. It's not going all together, but it's
right.
enough now. I can get the family round. We'll have the barbecue going, and we'll have some burnt meat, and my kids will get drunk, and I'll probably have to taxi them home because I don't drink anymore. So I'll just watch my family get wasted and fall
Turnabout
over
is fair
everywhere.
play there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all right, isn't it?
Turnabout is fair play right there. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
All the times you carried them
yeah,
around. Now you're right
absolutely,
back. Now you're right back to it.
absolutely.
They're
So
supposed to
we'll
take
see.
care of you and your old dotage.
Now, the only thing I've ever had off my kids is the pamphlets from a care home to read. Pick your care home. You're like, cheers, kids.
I had a whole
Okay.
meeting like that about that with my mom and her financial guy yesterday, or what, Friday, I guess, talking about all that. That's
It's
not it's not fun to talk about.
no, it's not because you start to think, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
getting to that age. Yeah. No,
Stickler has English breakfast, three sweeteners, and a splash of sweeteners. Oh, come on, man! Tell me you're not
it's
using that fake sugar stuff.
chemical. Don't put sweeteners in anything.
Oh,
Never mind tea. Anything. It's chemical.
Left Shoe's got it
You
right. He's
know.
got a Nespresso Intenso with some Baileys in it. All right, there you
Well,
go.
that's a pick me up for a Sunday morning. That one, isn't it?
That
Left you.
is, yeah. That's my dad used to call that vacation. I'd come home after he'd retired. He's like, "Hey, you want some vacation in your coffee?" We'd be sitting in the breakfast shop at 9 in the morning,
Yeah.
and he'd have a
Yeah.
flask of Bailey's. He'd get it out of his coat, and he'd
See, Artillery Bugs has got my drink. If I drink coffee, it's got to be black. It's got to be as it comes. Hot water and coffee, nothing else. That's it.
Charlie
So,
Horse uses the
yeah,
old
yeah,
maca pot.
yeah.
Good. Everyone's got their coffee. That's fantastic, guys.
Good
We're
news.
going to be right up front with you. We don't really have a plan for this show. Not that we ever actually do, but this one is significantly less planned than the others. But there are some things going on that we can talk about. You can see that I'm in my EU account. So first thing I wanted to do, Slim's the Canuck. How are you? He's here. First thing I want to do, also Artillery Bugs. I missed him. Is take a look at my choices because Unwieldy has done me a solid and has finished his whatever it's called contract.
Oh, the
Actually, sorry,
referral
I'm sorry,
program thing.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Five Knuckles, my bad. 5 knuckles completed. Unwieldy hasn't completed, but that's cool. So we got 5 knuckles. Your recruit, my commander. All right, so there we go. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is going from both directions. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see that. It was unwieldy.
Right. Okay. So you've
Yeah.
got 2 contracts completed.
Yeah, so I've got the... Oh, I already had this one. This one's... All right, this is old. That's old news. What I need to do is... Here we go. Never mind. All right, so that's old news. Sorry about that. Unwieldy has completed. I'll figure it out. So I get to select the vehicle, bottom line here.
Right. Right. Okay.
All right.
Because I'm interested in this.
So what one should I choose, guys? What one should I choose? Let's discard the ones I'm not going to take. I don't want the T92.
No.
I don't want a 112.
No.
I don't want the 8.8.
No. Do you want
the
do you want the
JT.
glass cannon?
That one's on the list, but I think it's low.
Oh, okay.
Amex 49, I think, is near the top.
Yeah, that's a cool choice.
T26, I think the 3, in my mind, unless I get a good argument from you guys, is T26 E5, 54 Mod 1, excuse me, or the Amex M449.
Right. Well, for my money, the AMX, because I've got the AMX on the NA account, and
Yeah.
I think it is the mutts. It's the dog's mutts. It really is.
If I take the Mod 1, I'm going to be having to shoot gold. And it is solid artillery. It is a good one, but I'm probably going to have to shoot some gold. Which is not a deal killer, but it does hurt a little bit.
Well, especially if it's a free play account. Free-ish to play account.
Yeah. The argument against the T26 E5 is I have the Renagati, so why would I want another heavy US tank?
Yeah.
The argument against the M449 is I don't have any French tanks.
Yeah, but that's a line that is good to go down, especially we're not talking heavy. If you want to go down the light tank line, you know, you could always have that crew retrained into light tanks. Possibly.
I think Left Shoe may have just sealed the deal with that one. Crew trainer because of so many Russian
retraining.
maidens.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's a good point.
And I like mediums, and it's a good medium. I will have to shoot a little gold, that's true. I won't have to shoot gold as much in the Canonin, but it's a casemate, not my favorite style. But this is a good casemate because it's got mobility.
Yeah, and also there is an adapt oh, I can't even say the word.
Something.
I've obviously been drinking. Yeah, there's a thing coming from one of the super tests to change the way that the you know, the turret lock thing.
Yeah.
So it's permanent, and you have to unlock it, so it makes it more playable as a casemate.
Yeah, there's a selection. We can talk about it in a while, guys, but they're going to change it to where it's more like the Swedish TD mode ones. Left Shoe says, I made a good point. Kids, come here.
I just read that. Yeah, absolutely. Kids, come
Martha! Martha!
here.
I told you I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
Random internet guy said I know what I'm talking about. So these are the ones I've got. T-78, Eagle 7, the Renagati. I do have a medium for the Russians, but it's a tier 6.
Yeah.
I think of those choices, the Mod 1 is probably going to be the wiener.
Yeah. Yeah. Given that currently, I mean, when I started my EU account off, I did the Russian, the American, and the British. I just focused on those 3 lines
Right.
because being free to play, I couldn't do 5 or 6 lines, so the French left out. Yeah. So I think certainly until you get enough credits behind you.
Yep, let's do that. We're going to do that live. Here we go. We've claimed it. We've made a decision. We're confirming. I've already got 6,000 bonds too. Am I close enough to get a bond premium tank if I wanted?
Interesting, wouldn't it?
Is it 8,000 for the 8s? I can't remember. Oh, something's going on here. What's this? Oh, that's for the battle pass.
Yeah.
Where's the dumb tanks? Here they are. That's all gold. Where's the bond tank stuff?
Down the bottom, the very bottom
Oh,
one.
I got to scroll all the way through.
No, the bottom of the icons on the left.
Oh, with the little dollar signs. There we go. Ooh,
Yeah.
they're 15,000. Oh, those are the tens. All right, so it's 8. I'm getting there. It's basically 8 for the bond tanks.
Not far off. You've got a follow. XPivo.
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate that for XPivo. Right on. We are doing Coffee Talk, a live podcast where we talk about coffee. That's it. No, we talk about gaming and tanks. All right, cool. So that was my little personal help I was looking from you guys. I appreciate that. 100 Battle Challenge is ongoing. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, XPivo is from the Arctic Circle of Russia. Awesome.
No kidding. Well, welcome. Well, that's going to play into your what's the word? Help me, old guy.
Into my competition coming
Your competition. That's
that's the word. The one that your alcohol befuddled brain can't.
Oh my God! Yeah, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. So
I'm
EU
not
update, I
helping
haven't
you.
played at all. I sent the GI Joe winners out their skins, so those guys have their skins. So thank you for participating on the GI Joe video. That was actually a lot of fun because the memories of people saying, talking about childhood and remembering GI Joe. All of us old GI Joe guys, and there was the younger guys who knew GI Joe from the versus Cobra stuff, which was something new to us older guys. And of course, then there was Action Man, some random guys. Did you know that was?
Action Man!
Do you know that was actually GI Joe? It was just done by license through a Brit company.
Yes, yeah, no, it was. It was.
Yeah.
It was. It was originally a GI Joe, but it became British. Hence, it had a monocle.
Well, it doesn't work for you. You can't have G. I mean, you could have GI Joe, but that's an American thing. General
Yeah,
issue.
that's like over here, overpaid, and all the rest of it in it. So
Yeah, so they could have called it Limey Joe, but I don't know if that would have had the same impact.
Limey Joe, that would have gone down well, would it?
Or maybe just
And all
Joe
the kids running around going, I got Limey Joe, I got Limey Joe.
Joe Limey. It's like Joe Dirt, but the
Limey.
British one.
Could have had Tommy.
Anyway. Oh man.
Anyway, where were we? 100 battle challenge.
I have no idea. 100 Battle Challenge. I have finished a couple of those. In fact, don't mind the reset here, guys. But I'm going to go ahead and bring up my North America account. So as we continue and talk here, I think I finished a couple of those 100 Battle Challenge things. I do have some videos coming out, guys, on some of those tanks that I have. I'm trying to think of which ones they were. It is just a befuddling morning, man. I'm telling you, it's hard to get through.
Well, let's go back to temperature. XPivo says it's -20 to -52 in the winter where he is.
What?
I can't imagine that. That's like go outside, sneeze, and all your droplets freeze as they leave your mouth.
Why are you outside?
Yeah, no, that's even indoors.
I saw I don't know if it was National Geographic, but it was one of these, shows like that. And it was somewhere up there, supposedly the coldest town in Russia. And that's the thing they were talking about in the winter, the kids going to school. And there was something like they didn't go to school when it hit -30 or something like that. Otherwise they went to school. It was, and that number may be off, but it was a number at which you'd go, holy crap, are you kidding me?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, our kids don't go to school when it rains a little bit here.
Yeah.
You can imagine that.
Well, the entire city
I mean,
built.
what's the difference?
Yeah.
What's the difference between -25 and -50? Because either way, it's still bloody cold, isn't it?
If it snows a quarter of an inch in Atlanta, the entire city shuts down, and it's like The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Right? It's the apocalypse, the absolute apocalypse.
I'll deal with that. Wow.
All right, so I think that's it for the channel stuff. I don't know when my next stream is, guys. I have something going on Thursday. I thought Thursday was my day off. So I don't actually know, and I'm not sure if I'm working too late on Monday. But in theory, I'll be doing the Stack Up stream tomorrow at 4 Central Time. Also, too, later today will be another BFM competition over on Low Blows channel. So if you guys have been following the flying stuff, if you're interested in that, today at 1400Z, I believe.
Is he in today? Let's have a quick look. He's not here yet.
I don't know if he's here yet, but there's his channel, guys. There'll be a BFM competition again, and I'll be commentating, co-commentating with Loblo over on his channel. So if you're interested in the DCS stuff, then there you go. Why doesn't the polar bear eat penguins? Because he doesn't live on the South Pole.
Whoa! Check you guys out. There you go.
I bet he would.
You're a commissioned officer.
I bet he would, though.
Yeah, if he could.
When I do my mapping class, that's one of my jokes, because we talk about what is it, WGSI 84 and the various mapping systems. So there you go.
Well, do you know what? Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Because, yeah, everything is simple ex vivo. Because, here's a tangent. There you go. There's a world in your hand.
Now this world has taken battle damage.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. From that's from Hurricane Michael, because it was near the window that got broken. But I kept it because it's a gift from my buddy. We liked.
Wow.
We always liked Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And there's a quote from Jeff Spicoli, graduate of 1982. It says, "This is U.S. history. I see the globe right there." So that's a quote from that.
If you turn that round and round and round and just stick your finger anywhere, I'll tell you whether that became a British colony or not. Give me the name of where you put your finger.
It's in the middle of it's in the middle of the Pacific, but it's actually closest to Hawaii.
Yeah, there you go, British colony by default, because the Americans were a British colony and it's part of the United States.
Oh yeah, okay, now I see.
There you go.
See. So it's polar bears,
Right,
and
they're little
seals, and it's penguins
Yeah,
down there.
I've seen penguins fly. I've told you this story, haven't I?
Why, they got hit by a seal and float, or a orca?
Remember, I was down the Falklands, which is close to the Antarctic Circle.
Don't tell me you blew them up.
Penguin, yeah. And when the minefields that the Argentinians laid down, yeah, I know. Here we go. Swing the lamp.
Here we go.
We cleared as many as we could. We cleared as many of those mines as we could, but there were a few beaches around the Falklands that were too mined to clear, so we just left them in the sand. But they shift in the sand, and over time, the springs in them get weaker and weaker as you know the corrodes and all the rest of it.
Turns out you had some natural engineers out there.
Yeah, exactly. The penguins did the mine clearance for us because they would jump on these things and fly. Boom! Yep. Oh dear.
I'd love to say no penguins were hurt in that story, but I think that was kind of the point.
No, they were only. It was the China ones made of China.
Just fake penguins. Okay.
Fake penguins.
All right.
And we did garden gnomes as well. There you go.
I can think of no more fitting end to a garden gnome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Blow the things up, yeah.
All right, let's chill. Missions and specials. Back on track. Not that we're going to stay there for very long, but here we go.
No.
Let me get this fixed up here. I don't want that one. I do want that one. And then I want that one. All right. So, missions and specials. What's going on? Let's shill. Get your shill. And remember, for every dollar spent, I get $4.50. Pilgrinomics. Pilgrinomics. Hey,
I
check
don't
this
actually get anything, just I get free tea.
We don't pay you anything.
Oh, just tea.
Just tea.
Just tea. All the non-taxable tea.
All right, so look at this bundle.
Yeah.
I saw this today.
Yeah.
I did a rough count. It's $289 for me. There, you can put a coupon on it. Brings it down to $260 or something like that. And I did a rough count of the gold you would get for the tanks, and it's somewhere around $300 to $400 worth of gold.
Wow.
Someone would have to do the exact count. I may have slightly overestimated, which is why I say worth $300 to $400. I think it's like mid 300s really at the end of the day. So maybe a decent deal for somebody who's looking to drop a large chunk of chain and wants a bunch of gold. If somehow you've managed to burn through your Christmas gold.
My 42% coupon applies to this, so I could get this half price
You're
if I was
kidding.
to get it.
You're kidding.
100 and yeah, it would end up as about £120 sterling. So what's that in dollars? $180.
I don't have that coupon anymore.
Well,
Bummer.
it only lasted for 14 days, I think. I mean, I used it. I used it today. I think it was due to go, so I used it today.
But you did check and it did work earlier. It would have worked on
No,
that.
it was applicable. It's applicable. There's another coupon I've got in Garage as well, which is the um. Let me just tell you what it is while I click on it. Right, I've got the times 5 XP for 15 victories coupon as well. But both coupons would work against it, so yeah, I could actually get it for half price.
Yeah. So if you're out of gold, or there's some decent tanks in here too. There's an E25, the Centurion 5-1, the 4202 is but the CS52 LIS is very nice.
Nice.
The
That
double
is
barrel
nice.
703, very nice. Pudel, who cares? Lanson, good. T34 shielded, nobody cares. T34-3, actually pretty decent preferential premium at this point. Chrysler K,
Yeah.
decent. 7501, KV2R, yeah, that's fun. So, I mean, there's some decent, not amazing, but decent tanks in there. If you're just getting started and you want a good splash of some decent tanks,
And the crews. Some of them are BIA crews.
are they?
Yeah, the KV2 comes with a BIA crew.
It
And
does,
all
yeah,
the
it
rest
says
of
it
them.
right there, you're right.
Yeah. Why not? It's cool.
Looks like one of them is. So anyway, I throw that out. Make sure you buy it. Make sure you put the code Guido in there. there's no code Guido. Don't.
Just try it.
There's no code Guido. All right. ELC even 90. That's Commander AF's code, which is, might as well check it out there. What the hell is it? Where is it? Spring into Action.
Yeah.
Spring into Action, which is an ELC even 90 3-day rental and some boosters. This is why you're seeing so many E25s, guys, if you have been noticing that. It's on sale again.
Yeah.
So those things are infesting the game yet again.
I quite liked her latest video. I thought there was a slight spicy difference to it, but there you go. No, I just thought it was.
No, you
not-
really, yeah, no, you definitely snuck that, and you, especially since you said we weren't going to talk about it, but then you
Yeah,
just,
no, I'm just saying it's a nice watch.
okay,
It's worth having a watch all the way through.
watch
so
the
you can
video.
Get the code.
All right, then we got gold. See how I try to just move on like it didn't happen?
Yeah, we get gold. Yeah.
This premium account, there's all kinds of spicy things in
Yeah,
here that you can buy.
Is that the word of the day? Spice.
Yeah, yes, now everything's going to be spicy.
Okay. It's going to be naughty. It's going to be spicy.
Maybe it's naughty and spicy. All right, vehicles, nothing really to add in there.
They've still got that battle pass thing, haven't they? Section.
Well, yeah, you can buy that up to the end of it, I would imagine. Yeah, you're going to be able to buy that forever.
Yeah,
They want their money, man.
they do. Which
You know,
is
that thing, I have gone completely back and forth on that. My understanding now, from trying to get to the bottom of it in the CC channel, and I don't know why I can't get anyone to give me a straight answer, and I don't even know if they know, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be 3 seasons, because we're in
Yeah.
season 4. There's going to be 3 chapters in
Yeah,
each
third
season.
season.
So
Yeah.
there's a ton of coins available out there. I think 54 of them total. Because I've also had noise from people saying, no, there's only going to be 1 season and 3 chapters, so there's only 18 coins total for the year. I'm pretty sure that's not true. Then other people say there's only going to be 2 seasons, which will be 36 coins total. Dude,
See, that's the one I understood. I understood there's another season to come, which is I'm not even going to bother because, like I said, I spent 40 odd thousand gold, 38, whatever it was. And I've got the 2 tanks that I wanted. I wanted the AE phase and I wanted the CR4, which I've got. So I've got no interest in that anymore now.
I know,
So
but
it'll come.
there's 2 whole, and I think Wayne's right. There's 2 whole more seasons. There's another 36 coins you could get. Now you'd have to spend
Right. Okay.
38,000 gold to just do it without playing. Without playing.
Without playing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But
So
that, you see, the interest side for me now, it'll just happen in the background now for me because I'm not
Right.
interested in it. Because I've got the 2 tanks I want. I wasn't after the big heavy tank. I can't remember which one it was now. The T whatever it is.
Right.
The Chinese one. I'm not that fussed. But if I get coins at the end of it, that's enough because I've just let it play in the background. Then yeah, fine.
Yeah.
But it has no.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold any interest for me.
Well, I agree with you, Cliffy, on that absolutely. Which is why I was figured there would at least be 2. I immediately discounted that there's only 1 season and 3 chapters. That didn't sound right.
Yeah.
There has to be 2, and if they're going to do 3, they're going to be shoehorning them in pretty hard, and that's going to be basically all there is. There won't be any tank rewards or any of those other things. That's basically the big daddy rabbit that's going to happen monetization wise. So I'm leaning heavily towards there are 3 seasons, 9 chapters total, 6
see,
coins,
what-
6 coins each chapter if you have the improved, 3 if you don't. There's a lot of coins available out there, guys.
Yeah, I think that's right because even though Wargaming has confusing wording, if you hover over the icon in the garage, if you've done it, it says Battle Pass has finished 150, all chapters and progression stages completed. But I think it is of this season. Battle Pass this season is finished.
I think you're right because that doesn't make any real sense. Let me ask you this: has anybody played past level 50 and opened up the next one this season? Not paid, but played. And I have to assume
That would be interesting. Yeah.
I think we're just proving the obvious, and we already know that this is what's going to happen. There's 3 chapters right now open. You can play through 150. Someone's at 48.
Right. Charlie.
I don't think it's a case of you get to 50 and it just stops. Right now, you can go through I'm pretty sure you can go through the 3 chapters right now in this first season 4 or first season of this year.
Yeah.
78. Mix of okay, so there you go. That proves it. It's all right. So
Yeah.
the point being, guys, I mean, that's even if you don't pay, that's math in public. 9, 8, 27 coins available.
Yeah.
If you did all 150 of 3 seasons, provided there are 3 seasons, which we think there is, that's enough to get both of the new ones, right?
Yeah.
Or is it one short? 18 and
No, because it's not the same price.
it's short.
So-
One's 18 and one's 12. You need 30.
One's 12,
Yeah, you'll be 3
yeah.
short. You'll be 3 short. Ah. All right. So you're gonna have to buy one.
Yeah.
You have to buy one of the chapters or whatever improved battle pass. Still, though, you could get one of the 18, the Kunza, and then you could easily get one of the 9s.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, or you can do. I mean, I guess a lot of people will be specific in what they want to get. For example, like I did, I just wanted the Char 4 and the AE phase. I'm not fussed about the others. So, some people will do that. Collectors will want to get as many as they can. But having had the Char 4 on the EU account, I knew what a good tank it was, so I wanted that. And everybody was telling me the AE phase is great. So I went for it. And everything else I'm not that worried about.
Yeah.
So it could be that somebody wants the top tier 9, tier 10, whatever it is, and that's all they're going to play for. So it's not like you have to complete Battle Pass, is it?
Yeah, someone mentioned it. It is about 2 a day, roughly, just as caveman math. 2 levels a day.
2 games a day.
No, 2 levels, 2 battle pass levels a day.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So that would be 75 days. That gives you a couple days to miss because as of right now, there is still 79 days left. So if you did 2 a day for 79 days, we'll just round it up to 80 just to make it easier. That's 160 levels, which is more than the 150 it takes to do. So there's some slop in there. They give you a couple days you can't do it, a couple days you do 3 or 4. I'm already at 27. Granted, I play more than most people. with the streaming and goofing around. So I'm already at 27. So that leaves me 125 just to make it easy. So I'm well ahead. I can miss some days if I just think about 2 a day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yep,
and the thing is, you could crank out stacks on a weekend, for example. But like us, well, I mean, over in the UK, we've got Easter weekend coming up, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
right.
Monday. You could do 4 days and smash it, couldn't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Yeah, and I missed the first 3 or 4 because I was on vacation. I didn't do any.
Yeah.
So a little bit of double up to catch up going on. But if you think about you're a more casual player like a lot of people are, because all of what we've talked about are very dedicated, power players. Even if
Yeah.
you are a casual player, by the end of the year, you should have 9 coins and you can pick one of the cool older
Yeah.
tanks.
Yeah.
You got the A Phase 1, you got the Char, and you got the 777, and they're all decent tanks. The Char, especially, and the A Phase 1 is a solid heavy. And
Yeah.
for just casually playing, you should easily get to one of those.
Yeah. This is what I mean. It can run in the background. You don't have to focus on Battle Pass. It can run in the background, and you'll just um, amass this thing over time. And I
Right.
think it's good the way they've done that, but because it's slightly different to the Battle Pass from last year. They're letting it run for the whole year, and it's like sectional awards. So there's things that will drop into your garage without you even knowing it, or on the way.
Sure. Yeah.
I think it's cool the way they've done it. Yeah, I like it.
I think the most we've already sort of gone into subjects du jour, but we'll go back to the mission specialist guys. But the only I think the most valid criticism is that the bounty equipment is behind a paywall now.
Yes, that's terrible.
So
in
you
my
can't
opinion.
you can't touch a piece of bounty equipment without paying, and that's too bad. That one, I don't know. That's kind of a hardcore decision that I don't really agree with. To be
Yeah,
quite honest, as much
yeah.
as I like the company and the game, I don't like that kind of stuff.
No, that's a little bit of an outlying decision, really. I think that
Yeah,
somebody thought it was a good idea. Let's throw it out there. Obviously, the money people did, and that's why they've done it. Because they
Charlie
know that
Horse. I
people.
don't know, 50 games maybe.
Yeah, I've done 40 in 24 hours. That was a killer,
Yeah,
and I probably lost about 38 of those games.
yeah,
It was one of those chase the win sessions
yeah,
where
yeah.
it was a Friday, Saturday, and I just kept ploughing ahead, losing battle, lose the battle, lose the battle. I'm going to win one eventually.
Hey, let's do the April preview. See what's coming up in April.
Yep.
We've got the ongoing global map for you Clan Wars guys. That goes to June 30th. We have this. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. This is anybody doing this? I don't know if any of this community would do it, but there is some money involved. It's a 15v15 third party setting up a league. So interesting. This one will be interesting to watch. The registration ends on April 3rd, so pretty soon we should have an idea of how many teams, who they are, how the league's going to work out. So that's coming up. Battle Pass we just talked about is ongoing. Get your Duke from Prime Gaming. Make sure you grab that by April 15th, guys, if you have Amazon Prime and you're linked to your Twitch through Prime Gaming, then you can pick up the commander. He's actually a pretty good commander. Ranked battles, Pui is ongoing. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that later. April's month-long events. We got dog hair on me from the dog. All right. Month-long events. We got tournament missions and Watt Salute. So there's a new Watt Salute mission. I haven't even learned it. I haven't even looked at that yet, so I'm not sure what that is. We'll look at it in the garage in a minute. On tracks are going to be the 15, 16, the grill. Those are going on right now. Then we've got the Sheridan and the Bat Chat 25T coming up.
Yeah.
Premium sales, a gross tractor. That's a collector's thing. I have it. It's not great. The Krupster Waffentrager, mediocre. Hawk 30, okay. 244 and IS-2M. IS-2M is kind of interesting. There's not really a lot of great tanks here. 50 TP prototype is good. The one I will key in on is, guess what? You can buy the 274 Alpha soon, guys, if you missed out on it.
Yeah.
What? How did we get that last year? Wasn't Christmas, was it?
Was it a loot box? I can't remember if it was.
I thought it was
I'm trying
right
to. Yeah,
before.
no, it was. It was.
Was it that
The day
Halloween
before
loot
Christmas
box
was.
thing? Or was it a
Oh, it could
marathon?
have been Halloween. It could have been Halloween for
No,
sure.
someone said it's a marathon. All right, so I didn't. I don't remember.
Was it the marathon? Okay.
All right, I would believe that mission marathon. So there you
Yeah.
go, straight up buy it without being in the big package like they did with the marathon thing. So
Yeah.
we'll see what those look like. But if you
It'd be
missed,
nice to see the price point on that
yeah,
because I bet it's a different price point than the mission was.
I have several videos on that thing out. I did a review on it, and then I followed up a couple times because I just think it's a good medium. It really is good medium.
Limbs has just subscribed.
Oh man, thanks, Slims. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Carnarvon Action X is okay. Oh, the Barask. I missed that. So there's two great tanks actually.
Yeah, yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, the
April
Barask.
9th is worth spending money.
Yeah, the Barask is a little monster. Carnarvon AX and with the Sherman VC Firefly, which is an okay tier 6.
The Carnarvon AX is great for, I found, on front lines. So if you want a good front line tank, then the Carnarvon AX, it's not good for pubbies. Because people know where the ammo rack is on it, and it will get ammo racked a lot.
Yeah.
But it's good for front line.
It's got a good turret and a lot of depression. So if you're a ridge fighting kind of guy, hold down kind of guy, the problem is that the gun is anemic as far as damage goes. And while it fires fast, it just doesn't hit very hard.
No.
It's a good all-rounder, but it's not going to blow your socks off.
Yeah.
Not,
Yeah,
but I think of all these, probably the 50 TP, the Object, the Bat Chat, and maybe the Carnarvon, they're all kind of players for if you wanted to spend money on something that was decent. And that's pretty much it. April. Battle Pass, I think, is the big thing, really. We're going to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 50 TP is good.
They put a lot of work into Battle Pass. It's an all year event, isn't it? So they
Yeah.
will keep pushing it, I'm sure.
Yeah. We've got Return of the Revenge of XP Fever Weekend. Someone's getting really lazy on the names right there.
Yeah, they just
Yeah. There's a lot of extra XP kind of missions in there. You pay attention to which tier it's for, and then it's the standard act. Once you trip the reward, play the tank you want the XP to go on.
yeah.
Be careful with that if you're new. What that means is you'll have to do something for the mission. We'll have to go look at it here. Let's go do that right now. Because sometimes it takes a little bit to interpret what the heck is going on with these things. Ranked battles, missions, XP, there we go. So if we go to tier 2 to 5, you need to be in the top 10, looks like 3 times.
Yeah. Oh, 3 victorious battles. So you got to be in the winning team.
Win a battle, you're right. And you need to be in the top 10. So 3 wins in the top 10. I hate that. And then the next. All right, so here's the question. Do you get that on the third one?
Or yeah, do you?
Or is it
That is a good
3,000 for each one of the wins? I don't know. Anybody know? Somebody knows in chat. Which one is it? Third one, premiums only. Yeah, the third one is premiums only. Yeah. Well, this is premiums only.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Must have been a premium 2 to 5 vehicle. Must have been a premium 6 to 7.
Are they all premiums?
Yeah, until you get down to must be in a tier 10.
The tier
Oh.
10. They're all premiums. That's bizarre.
That's a money grab and a half, isn't it?
Now, the
Want
tier
people to
10s you
do
don't have to be, but why would you want all that experience on a tier 10?
that.
Because it's
exactly
because it's combat experience. It's combat experience and not. All right, so I've done one of these.
Yeah.
I don't know how I've done one of these because I haven't played since yesterday. How does that work? Is it not reset?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, this is for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
So I didn't play a lot of premiums yesterday. I played. That's not
And it's
true. I
also
played a shit
it'll
ton
be
of
gold for the
premiums.
XP conversion, won't it?
This makes no sense because I played a bunch yesterday. I'm sure I tripped all the. Did we play yesterday? Maybe I didn't play yesterday. I don't know. I'm so confused. I'm so
Well,
confused.
it is a good weekend this weekend, isn't it? It's the craft beer and the
Hmm.
grits and the shrimp or whatever that stuff you eat.
Well, it is that. Yeah, that is true, Slims. One thing is there's no limit on completions. Okay, that is true. You can pile experience onto your premiums and then do the conversion thing and turn it into free experience. That's one way.
Yeah,
One way to do
yeah,
that. And there is good catch. There is a conversion on. It's a 1 for 35. It's not as good. The best they give is a 1 to 40.
yes.
But that's a 1 to 35, so you can convert. You can see I've got various tanks that have experience sitting on them. Apparently, when I previewed the Concept 1B, I was not smart enough to turn on the Goes to Crew because I managed to put 30,000 experience on that for some
Wow.
stupid
There you
reason.
go.
Oh my gosh. All right.
It happens.
Okay, so there you go. I guess I'm so because it only counts for premiums, that's where the 6,000 is going. Am I getting 6,000 every time I get the win? That's actually pretty good. Oh, so I've done this 4 times. I see. Oh, is it a case of every? So you do 3 and then you get 6,000 and then it resets? Maybe that's what's going on. Bonuses on the
That's
third
okay.
win.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's what's going
Yeah.
on. So you do 1, 2, 3 on the third time, you get the 6,000, then it resets. You can see I've done this once. I've gone through once, and that makes sense. I've completed 4, right? So I've done 3, whatever it was, tank I used on that third one, got the 6,000, and then it reset, and I've done 1 more of the 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for
Makes
this,
sense.
I've only managed one on that one. And I didn't play any low tier stuff. I didn't play any tier 10 stuff. All right, there you go. There's also a garage slot for 35,000 total experience. LFT Oliver, hello. How are you? Crowd Tank, welcome. That was hard, man.
It was a bit hard, wasn't it?
Why was it so hard to get through that?
I don't know. I think it's probably because I kept throwing in tangents.
Pop. Watt Salute is going. This is the Watt Salute thing. That's standard. Standard. Community hunting multipliers 15. The GI Joe Duke bundle. I finished that. So that's the missions you get with Duke when you what I was
Yeah.
talking about earlier with the Prime Gaming. You get some extra goodies, and that is it for missions and specials, man.
Not a lot there, is there?
No.
I miss the University Challenge missions, you know. I quite like those.
Oh, they're gone,
It's
aren't
just,
they?
yeah. It's a shame, isn't it? It's on hold, isn't it? They haven't decided to bring them back, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I have 99 extra vacant slots.
There was a day. There was a day when you didn't have enough.
I know, and I spent gold on it too because I had to have
Yeah.
it completed if I'd have just waited. But that's not me. I'm not very patient with that stuff.
No, I've got 81 slots, but you know I'm still grinding, so it's cool.
Yeah. Left shoe has 130. Holy cow.
Crikey.
Well, that's that doesn't surprise me because a lot of people don't bother to have every tank in the game, right? That they're just not
Yeah,
interested. So
I know that. Yeah.
so if they're a
I
power
guess you can
player
afford it.
and
Yeah.
they don't collect everything, then they start to add all kinds of extra slots that they don't need.
Special K is just kicking backsides left, right, centre. He's got 216 slots. He's only got
260.
one. He's only got one tank though.
Cliffy has 152. Holy cow. Charlie Horse says the payout for playing on the I'm gonna assume you mean the South American SA server
Yeah.
versus the NA server for tokens. Is it worth it?
Good question.
I'm not really sure. Are you asking whether you can go faster down there? Oh, Sandbox.
Oh, I don't know.
Do you get
Yeah,
do you get
there's a
tokens on
difference.
Sandbox?
Yeah, no, there is a difference between. Well, first of all, they're giving you rewards for doing the sandbox. Secondly, the rewards you get on NA are not the same as you get on the RU. And I believe, don't quote me on this, but the EU don't get any rewards at all for doing sandbox. So yeah, there is a
No, but what I'm saying is,
apparently.
is Battle Pass advancing if you play Sandbox?
Oh, good question. I don't know.
Is that what you guys are saying? Everyone's saying yes.
Wow. Okay,
I
fair
didn't
one.
know that. That's actually pretty good because it is the Sandbox is linked to your account, and if they've done that, that's a fantastically good idea on their part.
Yeah,
Was that
encourage you to get in.
sure? I mean, one of the arguments I always had against doing that is it wasted my time because if there was some big event going on, why would I go futz around on Sandbox when I wasn't advancing? 1,898 days of premium time, possibly. How many years is that?
That's got to be, well, math in public. It's at least 3 years, isn't it?
It's more than three.
4 years.
1,898 divided by 365. 5 years and some change.
Wow. We hope that the game's around for 5 years.
Charlie Horse says that's longer than my life expectancy. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not
at
close
this
to that
point,
yet.
his number of days is starting to become part of his retirement plan. Yeah, he can take that cost out of his cost of living at retirement because it's already there. It's a
Yeah,
sunk cost.
absolutely.
He's planning for his old, as I said earlier, dotage by having enough premium time to last.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Special
I mean,
cat.
I'm looking, but I've got 470 days, which is over a year and a half, isn't it? So,
Yeah. But you can see I've
I
got
guess we're all up there.
554 going on right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, dear.
Awesome. All right, so let's get into, we're going to get into subjects du jour, but we're going to take a break. I'm going to plan this a little better than usual. So we'll go take care of, you know,
Bladders.
yeah, whatever you got to take care of. So give us 5 minutes, guys, and we'll come back. And we actually have quite a bit to talk about on subjects du jour. Ranked Battle Pass, update 1.12. Sandbox is coming out again. Super test stuff and a Russian survey, which should be interesting. Yeah, not even
Yeah.
an hour clip. Hey, look, like I said, it's been a big weekend, so you just take that into account. All right, we'll be back. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah, some of the lads, I think it was Cryotank, said he put an AMX crew in it.
We back. We are
We are
back.
back.
We are back. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so what is going on, man? Ranked, obviously, is the big one. So, as I've mentioned, I'm at 27. And I have 3 coins. You can see your coins up in the top right there. So I'm on stage 27. Where do I finally get the good equipment? All the way up here. Okay, there it is. Is there only one bounty equipment per? There must be one per chapter, huh? That's what it looks like. Okay.
Yeah, this is, yeah, you're right.
One per chapter.
So this is Battle Pass, yeah.
Yeah, so how's everybody's battle pass? You guys checked out some numbers already, so it looks like everybody's cranking along. A couple of you more than others. Pilgrim decided to just chuck money at it and get it over with.
Well, of course.
Have you played the Char?
Yes, I have. I've got a 100% win rate in it at the moment because I've only had one battle in it, but yes. Yeah,
What's the average damage? 3,500 or something?
Yeah, something around there. Let me have a quick look, I'll tell you. Yeah, it is.
How is on chapter 2? Cryo says the game meta has changed so much. All about light mobile. Yeah, yeah. That's a fantastic conversation. That you could go on for hours talking about the meta and all that. The fact is that's always been the very good player meta. To be quite honest, mobile tanks with good guns that they can reposition with. People start to figure that out, but it's a valid observation because despite the fact that I say that's the way it's always been, it is turbocharged now based on all of the faster tanks they've put in, the more accurate tanks, all that stuff. So,
yeah,
100%. It's sped up. The game is sped up. There's no. I don't think there's any denying that. Would you say that?
No, I think the speed of the game. This is why you get such short, fast games because the ability to bring guns to bear in a flexible way and in a speedy way is affecting the whole of the game meta.
Mm-hmm.
So the more the Char 4s, it's always been the case with the Soviet mediums, for example. It's always been that case, but now it's more wide-ranging. So you've got a lot more tanks. You take the AMX, the big old French heavy, that's fast. The AE phase is fast to the battle. And and things like that. So, the maneuver warfare, I believe we can call it. Maneuver warfare is a thing, isn't it? And I think it's changed the game.
Do you think it's also a case of as the game matures and there's more and more experienced players, and you have fewer new players come in, which is just kind of the natural life cycle of a game. We still have new players. I'm not saying they're not there, but as the maps don't change, the meta metastasizes, and people learn where those critical points are, and more and more people do that, and you see more and more of the same game. And because of the way the maps are designed, there are a lot of places on maps where you just can't get to the critical terrain without taking hits because people know where to position and go, and the lights light them up. And I've been noticing that a lot, even at Tier 6, because I played a lot of Tier 6 lately for Battle Pass. It's even there now. People know where the crossing points are more so than usual. That's always been a problem, but now it's like you just can't even get into some spots you need to be without getting thumped.
Yeah,
and it is frustrating actually.
Yeah, because we've always said, and I think both you and I have said this a lot of times, is first damage is key. If you can get first damage on the enemy, it is key. So if you can get yourself into a position where you can see the enemy as they're crossing to get to wherever they're going to or wherever it is, and you take a lump out of them, it's key because they've just lost 10% of their hit points. Straight away.
And what does that do? What that does is it incentivizes people to not try to get to those positions anymore, and it makes them camp. And then the team that was aggressive is now in a superior position, and the turbo game is on because you lost some hit points, you got stopped from getting where you need to be. The other team is in the right position, and you get rolled up. It used to be most of the time you could get all your kind of important tanks to important places, and there'd be several brawls. But these days, if you get on a team that's a little hesitant, it's very hard to recover anymore.
Yeah,
because a few.
Well, that's what you sort of see. You see a non-experienced team, they're undecided about where to go, so they lose those critical 10 seconds. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a prime example. Charlie Horse is saying the Glacier map, the one with the aircraft carrier in it.
Yeah, it's miserable
If you-
trying to get across.
Yeah, if you don't get in position quick, you
Yeah.
have to, it's like the charge of the light
Yeah.
brigade. If you're surrounded by cannons the minute you get into the open.
Well, and it sucks
right?
because you can see it developing, right? Your team starts to deploy, and you're the slower heavy trying to get across to that important area in the north, and nobody's going to the center to keep them honest, and you just know 2 or 3 lights are going to pop up, and then the arty's going to come in and they're going to poke at you, and your team is hiding or going wherever, and you already know. You're like, well, and if you get lucky and their team doesn't also go to the center, okay, maybe it's not a problem, but you can just see it developing,
Yeah, yeah. And you're quite right. I think as the player base gets more experienced, you will get teams of high percentage of experienced players. They'll know A, the meta, and B, they'll know that there are critical points to get to, and they get there quick, and they've got fast tanks, they've got the AMXs, they've got the the Soviet heavy Soviet mediums, and so on and so on and so on. So yeah, absolutely.
Somebody want to nuke that guy for me?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Even though it's not really a person. I do want to be famous though, so I'm conflicted.
Yeah, I mean,
Bigfollows.com. Oh my god, that's awesome. Bigfollows.com. Yeah, the Hill on Tundra is a great one. You're headed there, and there's 1 or 2 of you, and you just know what you're hoping is the enemy team did the same thing, but that's not very. That's only hoping, and it's not very. The percentage chance of that happening is low.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can look at the team makeup very. I mean, like one of your videos is superb at that. It'll say, look at the team makeup. Look at what your makeup is before you even go into battle, etc., etc. That stage process.
Yeah.
So you look at the team makeup, and if you start to see, if not clans, but names you recognise as players, you're thinking, this is going to be hard. This is going to be difficult because they've got experience on their team, and this is going to hurt.
Yeah, just around midnight when you're TD and no one is spotting. Yeah, TD's got to get where they can support, But it is a fact that they generally do need somebody to spot. TD spotting by themselves is not a great plan.
No, it's not, is it? Dear.
Yeah, when you're a TD and the light is sharing exactly. The light is slightly behind you in a bush. Yeah, that's always fantastic.
I wish my tank had a pair of eyes that would look at both of them like that. At either side of me, and you're going, "Hello, why are you here? What are you doing?"
Yep. Left shoe blocks Glacier. But the thing is, there's so many maps just like that. Like what else? Where else is Glacier? The one that has the ice road on it. What is that one called?
I can't remember what that's called, but yeah, the ice road. If you the crossing point where all the lights, then the dip, they go down.
Yeah, the big dip in the middle, and both sides get lit, and like that heavy brawl over there used to be interesting.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
But it never really develops anymore. One side or the other gets more there, and then they're going to win.
Mountain Pass. There you go.
Yeah, Mountain Pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So now you don't ever really get a developed fight over there, and even if I think it's the South Spawn gets there, they're at a huge disadvantage. And they have trouble holding on.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it becomes an overmatch at that point. You either get half the team will go there, or you get virtually nobody go there. You don't get that balance anymore on that.
One of the reasons people don't like the brawl is the maps are designed for Arty to be able to affect brawl points, and while there is cover, you can still be hit. The blimp on Redshire is a classic example. That looks like a fairly safe heavy brawling area, but you can still get thumped by Arty in so many weird little angles.
Absolutely, it'll because of the trajectory.
Right.
It comes at this angle, so instead of coming like a mortar, it comes through the gaps. And I played artillery yesterday and just picked on an IS-7 all game.
Yeah.
He could not find a safe spot on that blimp. He was everywhere, and every time he moved, and I was reloaded, I gave him good news. I'm sorry.
Well, Hill on Malinovka is one of the brawl areas with the least cover. Yes, there is a windmill up there, but you can still get splashed, and if they move slightly, they can hit. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So few people want to go up there and just get rained on when you got a 3 arty game.
Well, yeah, exactly that. I mean, we've talked this to death, but it's worth saying again. Limit the number of arties. Artie, it's in the game. You can't get rid of it. I get that, but don't have 3 aside because that's a third of Pilgrinomics. That's a third of your team.
Well, we can just jump down because that was a subject to talk about and that I wanted to talk about was, since I played so much Tier 6, here's some things that suck about Tier 6. Artie.
Oh, yeah.
3 Artie.
M44.
M44s, 304s,
Yeah.
and LEFs. My goodness gracious.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather be at Tier 10 and have 3 Artie than sit at Tier 6 with M44s, 304s, and LEFs. Mostly the M44s. The M44 is ridiculously out of control.
Well, what was that? What was that map we had that battle on a couple of days back? And there was a 304 in the dip in the dead ground.
Oh yeah,
it's got a lighthouse on the top, and he was popping it over. He was hitting me, you, and I think it was TDF. Was it? Was it
Not so.
number 2?
Not so.
Not so. Was it number 2?
Yeah.
And the angles, and I managed to see his tracer come out, and I pinged him up. I mean, he's there.
Yeah.
He's like where a brawling heavy tank should be, and he's popping it over the lighthouse. Crazy.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And now E25s.
Yeah.
Running into E25 spamming gold in your Tier 6 is just pure misery. Pure misery. The bush humpers, as I say.
Yeah.
The bush humpers are extremely annoying.
Oh, dear.
So, people learn early, I guess, to hide and whatnot. Getting a little bit of a glitch on the stream there. Hopefully it recovers.
Yeah. No, I think the game has changed into a game of, here we go, here's a football analogy, a game of 2 halves. You've either got the experienced players who know where to go and know what to do, and so if your team is made up of most of them, you're pretty much certain to get at least some form of a win out of it, or it's made up of people who are so passive that you end up on your own somewhere all the time. You cannot do aggressive play. So then it becomes a camp fest.
Yeah.
There's no middle round. There's no middle ground anymore. It's all like it's whole hell for leather or sit back and just camp.
Well, I've seen that at Tier 6 so much. When you're trying to deal with 3 M44s or 2 M44s and a 304 or, an LEF and a 44 and a gorilla, even the gorillas and stuff are still brutal at that tier. Any kind of aggressive move gets you immediately spanked.
Yeah.
And like you said, because it's so passive a lot of times, you're the only one moving around that they have shots on. So it's just...
Yeah. You just know the minute you're lit, you're gonna suffer.
And I will say I often poo-poo the being targeted thing, but it feels that way at Tier 6 a lot because I'll be in the buggy or some other Tier 6 and I'll be in a Tier 8 game and the Artie is bombing me. Like there's a Tier 8 sitting right next to me and he's shooting. Yeah. I know he's lit and I'm just getting absolutely bombed for a couple of reasons, probably. Maybe because of stats, I don't know. Maybe because of name, but probably largely because a M44 knows he's going to spank me for a lot of damage.
Yeah, you've got to look at the tank you're in as well because exactly that. If you're an easy to damage tank, then you're going to be focused by Artie because they can get rid of you. If they're lobbing it onto a big old heavy, then they're causing damage, but they're not going to get rid of you. But they can get rid of a light, you can get rid of a medium, and some of the obviously the TDs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, Cliffy. There's always the next battle. Always the next battle. All right, so ranked.
Yeah, let's get to ranked.
Anybody playing ranked? It took me exactly 3 battles to never look at that mode again.
Oh dear, 1.
Dude, it's
1.
Ugh, it's terrible.
There's no such thing as team play in ranked battle, is there? I mean,
it's atrocious.
Small sample size. I played it once. I stayed up late enough to do it. And the first and only, in fact, I PM'd you afterwards. I went, no, it's not happening. The first, and I was like, yeah,
I would love the
I'm just a
tanks.
muppet.
I would love to get the 50T and the Concept 1B. I just am not willing to subject myself to that to get them.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
same reason I gave up on all of the big thing they did last year with Frontline and Steel Hunter. That was the way to get the tanks that they have incorporated into Battle Pass, and I love Battle Pass. It's way better.
yeah,
There's some. We already talked about a few things they could change on it that would make it nicer. That's fine, but it's so it'd be nice if the ranked tanks were incorporated into Battle Pass 2 and just make
yeah,
ranked part of Battle Pass. It
yeah,
is, but at the same time, it isn't. Unfortunately, what they had going on is they had the legacy system still sitting. They hadn't finished their ranked
yeah,
3 seasons or whatever the hell it is. So hopefully, when this ends, they incorporate the ranked stuff into the Battle Pass, the tanks at least, and we don't have to ever just do ranked to get something.
yeah. No, yeah. You would hope.
Yeah. I will tell you guys, inside information. I don't. The very few of the CCs, if any, like ranked. Some of them like it because they want to get the reward. Nobody that I know of, and you can't use absolutes. Very few, vanishingly few. Let's put it that way. Vanishingly
Well,
few.
isn't that a telling point though?
It
It's,
is. It is. Yeah.
CCs are there to create content about the game, and you would think that a mode like that should be, what's the word? Should be accessible enough and good enough for a CC to want to have to create content. But if CCs are saying it's not really where I'm at with it, I don't really like it, then there's no content coming out from it.
And it's not a case of CCs are the arbiters of what's good and bad.
No,
The actual reason I bring that up is a lot of those guys are really really good players, and they're interested in ranked insofar as it is good players and supposed to be top end gameplay. So that's what they want, right? But they realize that that's not what they're getting with with the way it's set up. So I mean, these are guys that would love to have hardcore ranked kind of gameplay, but as it is, almost none of them like it. And I think the only ones who like it,
it's a shame.
yeah. So that was telling to me, to be honest. I think the fix though, because I really like the 7v7.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean, guys? What do you think? Make it 7v7?
That mode interests me a great deal because, for want of a better word, you have greater influence on a 7v7.
Yeah.
If you play your tank well and you're a good player, you have massive influence on the game because there is just the 7 of you, and it's more like, I guess, skirmishing or possibly some clan battles or whatever. But for me, it holds a lot more interest, that mode.
Well, I think 7v7 highlights personal skill a little bit more because there's a little bit less randomness of
Yeah,
a couple already hitting you and that big TD getting a cheeky shot on you and then you're out of the game kind of thing.
yeah.
Also, it opens up
Charlie
the
Horse
maps.
is
I think,
quite right.
yeah, Charlie Horse has got it. The best part of it is it opens up the maps.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
There's not so much, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but there's just not so much coverage on the map.
Well, do you know, on that very point, in fact, this is good you brought this up. I had a game yesterday where it was on that I think it's the Chinese map, not Empire's Border, but the other one with the little sort of city in the middle.
Pearl
and
River?
then the Pearl River.
Yeah.
I was in a heavy. I was in the AMX, I think. I was in the heavy, and all of the heavies went to one point on the left-hand side. I was in the North Spawn, and I consciously made a decision not to go there because it was just going to be a blockade of heavy tanks. So it made me choose, because there's so many players, 15 players, and all the heavies went to this one point. It made me choose to go to a different point. I went to the medium sort of area, tried to get up into the middle with a heavy tank,
Yeah.
albeit it's quite quick. But that's a decision process that wouldn't normally have come to mind because I would have gone the meta. But I decided to go against the meta because this whole gang of people just went to one spot. And you're like, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be vying for position, trying to get a shot off with 4 other heavy tanks all over me. You know?
Yeah, well, as long as you don't get swarmed by all their guys.
Yeah, when I.
But your point
Yeah.
is well taken. Your point is well taken. When it's 7v7, that I think there's more interesting decisions to be
Yeah.
made. I think if the game was all 7v7, it would then metastasize into a meta because there will be a best and worst way to win maps. But right now it's new enough. And I think because saturated is the word I was looking for earlier, just the simple fact that it opens the maps up, opens up many more possibilities. It just does because there's no saturation of vision and control of everything. Your little group can work an area, and I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I actually enjoyed Tier 10 in 7v7. I played every different Tier 10. I could actually play supposedly bad Tier 10s and have good games, just because I was more free to figure out things to do. I mean, it's such a lockdown on Tier 10, 15v15 is such a lockdown game style. It's just there's nothing clever you can do. You just have to go to the right spot and work your little angles, and and that's it. That's your choice.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
And good Lord, heaven forbid you make an aggressive move in ranked in 15v15. You know what I mean? Ugh.
Yeah, I found that. Yeah, that one battle I did, I was aggressive and I was just on my own. There was no team play with this one. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a YOLO. It was just an aggressive get to position move.
Yeah.
And it's like the rest of the team were all like, I think, like you always say, I think they were having a briefing and I wasn't given the memo.
That's right. That's right. You were not invited to the meeting. Cryo says he's only seen a few EUCCs play it and know that, and that's telling, isn't it? You got your content community people, your streamers, and very few people are showing ranked.
Yeah.
Because it's like you guys are saying, it's toxic. All people do is bitch. Koss is playing it, but he's bitching about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's nothing really new for him, but it's probably on steroids because it is frustrating. I get it why you would be, and I would do the same thing if I was playing it on stream. Good Lord, that's awful.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. I like the fact that when we come back to the 7 versus 7 mode, we can do like-for-like comparisons here. 7 versus 7 on the map sizes that we currently have is optimal. It's absolutely optimal. I think it's superb. A lot of the maps we've got are not 15 by 15. Then I'm going to go throw this one in for you. That's why I like Grand Battles, because it's a big. All right, there's only 2 maps, but they're big maps, and you can tier 10 all day long on those. People don't like the Grand Battles for whatever reason. I can't get my head around it, because for me, the map size is everything. It gives me the ability to play my tank where I want to, when I want to, how I want to.
I like it. I like it. I'm with you on the map size. It's just a lot of tanks still, though, and it's just kind of too random for me on whether you can do well or not. It just feels like a real war battle, right? You don't really have a lot of influence on the whole thing. You're just there shooting at what you see.
It's localized action.
Right, and that for a game, in terms of a game, that's not that appealing to me. I'd rather be able to have more control over what's going on. So. It's not a real world tank simulator that we're trying to do here.
No, but I get that.
Yeah.
But for me, see, I like. I mean, you're of my school of the military. Maneuver warfare is everything for me, and I like maneuver warfare. But you can't do that on small. You can't get around on small maps that easily without being, absolutely mullered.
And especially at 210.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's this again, the saturation. Everything goes to the limits of the spotting system, and it's just saturated. You can't move. It's a lockdown. Every map is a lockdown. There's only a couple places you can go early. Some are even dangerous to get to early, and at least at tier 6, sometimes you can make an interesting move. Like Natso and I were talking. He was laughing about. I don't know if you remember the game, but we had 3 tier 6s and a tier 8. And we did a flanking move, and we just pressed. And I mean, we broke open that game with 3 little tier 6s because there was a little more freedom of movement. We just had enough map to do that. Do that at tier 10, and you got three dead guys.
Yeah.
You know, who haven't.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it is game specific, isn't it? And to be honest, um, uh, I've forgotten what I was going to say. I went off on one then.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Oh, all right. Why no tier eights? Good question, Wayne. And I've said that multiple times. How about we use other tiers for some of these events? Why not a ranked tier 7, tier 8, tier 9, tier 5? I wouldn't go down to 4s, but you know what? Why not? Why not have a ranked season of tier 1s of just pure chaos?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do it for a
Yeah.
week. You know, it doesn't have to
Yeah.
be this giant event. You have all this stuff built, and the awards don't have to be a tier 10. How about a tier 1 ranked 7-day battle royale with some bonds at the end or something, or a tier 5, a new
Yeah.
tier 5. I don't know. You know what I mean? Why are they?
Yeah.
I don't get it. There's no look, Wargaming. I love you guys, but your imagination is stunted, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I have to. My gut is that they're listening too much to marketers and to these high powered money guys, and they're not using their gamer hard enough.
Yeah.
And I think you can do
Yeah.
both. I think you can do both. But what the hell do I know? I don't have $1 billion company, so there you have it.
Well,
but I agree.
I mean that's. I use that quite a lot, actually. I'm not a millionaire, so what do I know? But you've still got experience in the game. You still know the game as much as any of the developers and all the rest of it. So if you played the game for 10 years, you have a right to an opinion about it and how it should progress. Absolutely, I think so. And if you don't take the experience of those people who play it day in, day out, then you need to stop and smell the coffee. You really do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so there's good points. There's a lot this game can move forward with. I want this game to go on for another 10 years, not just because I bought that much premium, because I haven't, but there are some who have.
Halfway
I
there.
mean, I want it to go on for the next 10 years because I love the game. But it's not going to go on for 10 years if people don't, or if the developers in the game and Wargaming don't look at it, holistically and say, okay, what do we need to do to... We're not on about balancing maps and all the rest of it. Just
Yeah.
make the game continue,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
little things like that,
Charlie Horse says had a game with 14 in the valley.
Wow.
Caduceus says last game 5,000
Wow.
combined and worst player in the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Left Shoe says I play my already in ranked. I did that the first ranked season and I got a far way into it. And it was mostly just as a test and I don't know if you remember, it still exists, but you've got the role experience, which can actually increase your experience. So if you play certain tanks, and to be honest, if that's how if you want to go through rank guides, you need to look at that. Make sure you're playing the tanks that will give you role experience, and then play them the way Wargaming thinks you're supposed to play, even if that's stupid. That's why this role experience is so stupid, by the way. But if you want to turbocharge your way through it, do that. Barty, guess what? Gets role experience by sitting in the back and stunning people.
Yeah, you see that just epitomizes what we've been saying about ranked battle. You can sit in Arty and actually come out on top all day long.
You can.
All day long.
I think they modified it a little bit, and maybe Left Shoe will let us know. Maybe they took it away, or I think they nerfed the experience a little bit for Arty. But the point remains, you can still sit in the back. And the thing about the Arty is, because you typically last the whole game unless an EBR gets through or something like that, it means you're going to have a good chance of not losing a chevron just by the sheer fact that you last long enough to keep bombing people.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If only just, you know what I mean? So,
yeah. And that says everything, doesn't it, really, about the mode,
Yep.
to be honest.
Yeah, Heisenberg says size matters. Uh-oh, what is that? What did Maddie FU say right there? What is this? Is it a naughty word? We do have a naughty word alert here. Is that some kind of swear word?
I don't know. I was about to ban him, but I don't know what for, to be honest. So, but he's gone now. So.
Oh, is he okay? Did he call me a name? Let's find out. We need to know. Let's see. Translate. I need to know what he said.
Yeah.
Oh, hello,
His
old
account
man.
is old man.
Oh,
Go on.
I apologize. It's Czech. It's hello, old man. Well, hello to you, my friend. He's gone though. That's a bummer. I wish I'd have seen that
Yeah, he's
earlier.
gone. Bless him.
I wish, Maddie, F you. Sorry, man. Hello, you young whippersnapper. All right, a lot of missions don't include grand mode. That's true. Cliffy is going to cancel Guido for the comment earlier. That's a fact. Tier 8 brawl mode. That would be a good idea. Lower tanks are even more effed up. Yeah, but at least we could find out which ones, I think it would be fun. I don't know. Tier 10 is end game. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Right. We've had that
See,
discussion.
yeah, we have had that discussion.
Hmm.
It doesn't. To be fair to Triple M, I love Triple M right now. He's actually said he thought even that was low. The Joe Biden comment.
Yeah. Look, I don't
On
care
the
what your
Triple M.
politics are. Good God. Anyway,
Yes.
71. I mean, if you don't see it, my goodness gracious. 71 AMC, good morning to you. Welcome. Playing Tier 6. Zod the Troll, how are you? Yeah, I like Tier 6, man. I do enjoy it. I could do without the M44s, which we discussed. Milking the cash cow, actually. True. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Cryo Tank. Everybody's just like, it's because Wargaming wants money.
It is, isn't it? It is.
Yeah, the problem with Tier 8 ranked is it would be covered in premiums. That is a
Yeah.
100% fact.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
using your gamer imagination, why not Tier 8 ranked tech tree only?
Exactly. I was just about to say that. Not allow any premium tank in there, and they do that. They do that with others.
Yeah.
With other things they've dealt with. They've excluded
So
premium
you've now
tank.
incentivized people going up the tech tree, right? You figure out
Yeah.
which are the cool tech trees. You do it for a week. It doesn't have to be a thing that is, every
No.
week to infinity and beyond. Just do a
No.
week of tech tree only tier 8s. That would be cool.
Yeah. And all the benefits you get out of that for like playing that is that you grind your tanks, you get your XP, you get everything going. Do you know what I mean? It's a give back to the players, as
Yeah.
well as encouraging people to come and play it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pip White has sold all his tier 8 tech tree tanks. So he's only got premiums.
Yeah, because they're generally bad. Randall
Yeah.
Green, biggest reason for no 8. Complain about skill. What would happen? Well, I mean, I who cares about the skill level? It's just to
Yeah.
play more of the game. Good lord, the game expands goes from tier 1 to tier 10. Why is end game just tier 10? That's the thing we've talked about a lot. That drives me crazy.
Yeah. They put a lot of stock on that's where this is wargaming. I mean, they put a lot of stock on that is where they see the players achieving the pinnacle of the game. But
Yeah.
it's not. It's not the pinnacle of the game. Not in my opinion, anyway. The pinnacle of the game is your own self-satisfaction in what you're doing in whatever tank it is. That's it. If you come out of a game, a battle going, I really enjoyed that. That's the pinnacle of the game, surely. That keeps you coming back. Not the fact you've got 150 tier 10s in your garage, and
Yeah.
and only used 3 of them. What's the point?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that 100%. Yeah, Cliffy, thanks for checking that. There are a bunch of SPGs sitting around trying to do ranked. That's absolutely true. Because when I did that, that's the way I saw it. You'd go in because they only allow 3 in the game, so you got to wait your turn.
Yeah.
Can you even finish a campaign without playing Artie? Yes, you can. It's easier with Artie because Artie's probably the easiest campaign missions, to be quite honest. But you can do it without Artie. You do it without one of the 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Now, yes and no, because there are the way the second campaign is set up. There's Artie missions embedded
Yeah.
with stun stuff. So
Yeah.
in that
Well, the
case,
only way
no,
around that is to fire HE from the HE carrying tanks, which is difficult.
no, because there's stun required.
Oh, it's a stunt, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess technically you could put an order to those particular missions, but now you're not saving orders for the end game stuff. So I think technically the answer is yes, but it's harder in the second set, I think, than it is in the first set. But even in the first set, you know, you're losing out on all the goodies for one thing, and
Yeah.
you're going to have to ignore one whole section, which is the Arty section, which is easy. So the answer is technically yes, but it's easier with Arty.
Yeah.
Bitwise sold. We've got that. He sold all of his, and I think I finally caught up. Tier 11, 279. Yeah,
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I sort of agree with that, Wayne, that there are outliers that can be considered 10 to 11, tier 10 to 11. Tier 11 tanks, why put another tier in there? There's no point. There's no point, is there?
The fix is to nerf overpowered vehicles, which they're not going to do.
No.
So the fix is
There's a
not
lot
on
of
the
other
table.
vehicles you pay for.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, then it's annoying. You have all these reward tanks, of which the 279 and the Chieftain are, but not all of them are 279 Chieftain levels of good. And so in ranked, they just bring the big maul in and crush and say no reward vehicles, which is stupid because the 121 Bravo and the M60 aren't really overbalancing the game in any way, right? They have two, maybe three problem tanks if you include the 907. The Chieftain, the
Yeah.
279 early, but really the Chieftain. But those three are the best three.
Yeah.
They're the
Yeah.
problem tanks. Just ban those and let people play the rest of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And that would encourage a lot more people in to do that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
Sly Rascal's just starting his coffee. There you go,
Excellent.
First coffee of the
Well,
morning.
welcome, Sly
Well,
Rascal. Thanks for coming. We've been waxing. I don't know, something. What? It's been wide ranging though, isn't it? Because we've talked about ranked.
Yeah,
and,
we've been at a tangent about, but
Yeah.
it's all been World of Tanks. It's not been, how my granddaughter nearly killed her hamster or anything like that, which is a story I've come on to.
That's random.
It is random, but it's a bit of a funny story, which I'll throw out there at some point.
We did kill our hamster.
Get out,
Yeah,
hamster killers.
yeah.
Penguins, we did actually.
We did talk about penguins. Yeah. We had a three-legged hamster called Jabba
Okay.
years and years ago. It was the meanest hamster. Pound for pound, the meanest animal I ever met.
They are vicious, aren't they? They
Yeah.
are pretty nasty. They can
Well, this
chew
one
through
was
the
a
metal bars
rescue.
of the cage.
And my daughter was quite the animal lover at her 7 or 8 year old age.
As they are.
But yeah, Jabba was a bit of a mess. All right, what else we got going on? Yeah, we did talk about penguins. I forgot about that. Yeah, it would be ounce for ounce in the case of a hamster. He was a little
Yeah.
honey badger, man. That thing would. Oh my gosh, it was vicious. It was not one you would take out and let run around in your hand or anything.
Well, if we're doing the hamster story, I'll do it then.
All right,
okay?
go ahead.
But my son is just because my two granddaughters are at preschool at the moment because they're only 3 and 5, or coming up to 5. In fact, the oldest, she's going to school this year, so they're at preschool, and the preschool had a hamster at school, but the hamster was getting quite stressed with 30 odd little kids keep picking it up and throwing it
Oh
across the
yeah,
classroom
that's how they
and all
get
the rest
mean.
of it. So, yeah, exactly. So the teacher said, okay, we have to take the hamster away. So, I mean, the girls were absolutely distraught by this. They came home, told mummy and daddy that, the hamster's gone and all that sort of stuff. So, as a surprise, my son went and bought a hamster a couple of days ago, brought it home, set it all up in the cage and everything, called the girls in, and they were like overjoyed.
Okay.
Now, my 3-year-old granddaughter thinks that anything round is a sporting implement of some sort, okay? So they had a ball that you could put the hamster in. You know where this is going. They had
Yeah.
a ball that they put the hamster in, and he
Yeah.
rolls around the floor. Well, they put it on the table. They put the hamster in, put the ball in. My 3-year-old walked up to it and swacked it across the room, thinking it was a football. The hamster must have gone, "What is going on?" And when you try and explain to a 3-year-old that you don't do that to the hamster ball, she just looks at you like you're stupid because, well, you do that with footballs and tennis balls and everything else, so why can't you do it with a hamster ball?
Thing is, when you tell a 3-year-old that, you might get more of it.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, really? Well, how about this?"
Yeah. And the shame is, this is the shame, they named the hamster Shirley. Don't ask me why. Shirley. Nobody names hamsters Shirley.
Well,
surely.
cleaning the cage sucks. And we were going on a trip, and my wife was cleaning the cage and had a Clorox wipe. The hamster was not in there. Got the hamster out. Clorox wipe, this, that, and the other, cleaning it in a hurry, put the stuff in, got the hamster back in. We left. Hamster died.
Crikey.
Turns out she left one of the stupid wipes in there, and it decided to do what
Oh,
hamsters do with
no.
cloth stuff. And of course, the wipe is covered in Clorox, which did not go well with the hamster.
Did you have to do what I had to do?
No, you know the stories.
I-
What, replace the hamster?
No, yeah, I had to. When my kids are young, not my grandkids, my kids.
No, the funeral.
Yeah, no, I had to do the funeral thing in the back garden.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had to
Yeah, that's what we did. Yep. Yep.
And say a few words over it. and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. And you always see the sitcom where they replace the hamster and then the kid figures it out.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
a critical problem with that with this particular hamster. It was never going to work because it only had 3 legs.
You'd have to cut one of them off.
Yeah. Because it had been abused, turns out we were no better, but the family before
Yeah.
it, I think the kids had roughhoused and it broke. So it was actually at the animal store or whatever, pet store. It was at the pet store, and it was a rescue
pet
basically. They're like, we're not going to sell it, but we'll sell the stuff with it. That's how they got us. And my daughter volunteered to rescue the hamster, and we had him for probably a year and a half. But
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And guess who got blamed? Guess who actually got blamed for years?
Well, it's always our fault, isn't it?
Me.
You're the man of the house. It's
Yeah,
your fault.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. And then it was years and years later. Finally, my wife
Yeah.
told me about what she thinks happened.
Yeah. It's like even though that was the case, it would have been. But you should have looked into the cage and checked that it was clear.
Oh yeah.
It's your fault because you did not look at it and tell me that I'd left a wipe in there.
So that was the untimely end of Jabba the hamster, the rescue hamster, who we gave a good year and a half extra. 3-legged
Really?
hamster, we gave a good year and a half extra.
All right, and then killed it off.
Yeah.
You've had your lot. Now go.
Get out of here. All right, update 1.12.1, guys. Right now it only says it's hull locked. So I don't know if you know how the difference between the Swedish siege mode TDs and the regular TDs that have an azimuth, but there's going to be a new way to work the hull lock. And to be honest, I'm not really sure what the difference is. I couldn't
Well,
make
I think
heads or tails
the
of
way
it.
I read it, Guido, is that it's going to be enabled as a default, and you have to disable it in the settings. What that does for the tank, I've no idea. To be honest, some of the TD players will tell us, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I know that the hull lock locks the hull, and then you
Yeah.
can use the gun azimuth.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
that
X
then
X
turns
puts
the
you
whole
into
tank.
siege mode on the siege mode ones, but you can still turn. And the beauty with that is the Swedish tanks can turn and not lose camo. Is that going to be
Right.
part of this? If I
Okay.
do hull lock, am I basically going into siege mode-ish with the casemates? I'm not really sure how that works. Thank you for the follow, Howling Dust. Appreciate that very much.
Right, there's been a mod for that for years, says Cliffy. Mousing to the extreme traverses when unlocked. So it keeps your camo. Is this what we're saying? It keeps your camo. I'm
So,
trying to read it. As
In
we're
the
talking.
past, you would hit X in a TD, and your hull would sit there, and you could move your mouse all over the place. You could look around wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
gun would only traverse to the stops. So what is this
Yeah.
doing exactly?
Well, it says the hull will remain locked by default for tank destroyers and other vehicles with horizontal fixed angle guns.
Mm-hmm.
You will see the red light in sniper mode notifying that the hull lock setting is activated. You can now disable it manually in the game settings and set it by default, ticking the box. But I don't understand what that. With the hull lock disabled, the gameplay of these vehicles will be similar to that of Swedish TDs and high-tier medium tanks featuring siege mode. Okay, your camera in sniper mode will rotate freely so you can quickly change your firing position. I don't know. Oh no. You can see what they've said in the blurb. Have you got the blurb up?
Mm-mm.
They've got an X key.
I
They
know. I
got
knew that
that
would piss you off. Yeah, but
X
that already
key.
exists. You can already go into. You can already lock with X. That's the default. You're
Can,
not
yes.
locked by default. You hit X, it locks your hole.
Right, but it'll swap it round. All they're saying is it'll be defaulted to be locked.
What I think is going on here, because if you lock your hole and you go into sniper mode and you turn your view, you cannot go past the stop of your gun for your view.
You can't see what's to the left and right of you other than
Correct.
from the
If you
outside.
zoom out, you can. You can spin all the way around zoomed out, even though your hole's
Yeah,
locked and your gun will be like, if you go left, your gun will be all the way over just sitting there.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think what
yeah.
it's telling me or telling us is that now you can be in sniper mode and you can turn all the way around. Your hole won't move, but then you hit X to unlock it, and it will follow. The gun will follow over to where you're
Okay,
aimed.
okay, all right. Yeah, well, yeah. I now understand that because I've used that before.
I think that's what's going on
The other
because
way
right
around.
now it's a little bit clunky when you go into zoom mode on your casemate
Yeah,
and you move the mouse over to see somebody outside of the azimuth, and it will follow. The hole will follow,
yeah,
but you're zoomed in and you're kind of doing the soda straw thing.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
don't know.
Because you can, I mean, yeah, because I've used that before. You can do that sort of stuff with the artillery. If you've got like one of the Batchat artilleries, the little on the left hand side, they've got that little thing of your tank. You can actually see where your barrel's pointing, even though you can't see on the map where you on the actual
Yeah,
battle.
yeah,
You know when you and you can then turn it to get there because with the Batchat, some of the turret traverse is quite slow. So you sort of catch it up on yourself all the
yeah,
time, but you can see in there where
yeah.
you're at. So that will be useful, I guess,
Charlie,
but
that's
that's
a good
about it.
question. Will it break camo? Also, what's a little bit weird is some tanks, I can't remember what the different kinds of track systems are, but some tanks will spin in place, others will move forward or back as they spin. It's whether
Oh
or
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah,
it's
yeah. You
I think
won't
it's
get
whether
any.
or
You won't.
not you have
Yeah,
two direction tracks or if you're just
yeah,
moving with one side of the tracks and dragging yourself around. So
yeah,
you actually get a little forward or backward momentum depending on what you're doing right there. I guess it's
yeah,
forward usually as you're turning right or left. With the tanks that only use one track to drag themselves around.
yeah.
So that seems like it's going to break camo right there, and you might miss how much you're moving if you're zoomed in and moving. You have to be careful because sometimes you'll crawl out of a bush, especially if you're right up in the front of it.
Yeah, yeah. If you get your yeah, exactly that. You know, if your front end comes out of the bush, then that's
Yeah,
you spotted straight off, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So that's coming
Which
up. Update 1.12.1. There's probably I don't know if there's anything else. Usually they add the things in as they go. That was the first news I had on that.
well, they've got a little bit of battle interface improvements and boot camp.
Yeah, there's a little
Oh,
boot
boot
camp
camp.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's in Super Test they've put the Chinese 114 SP2, which I think is a TD turreted TD, I
yeah,
believe. So
yeah.
that thing has showed up. Also, there's some potential buffs for some old premiums: the M41D, the Senlac, the T92, and the ISU 130. So three scouts. The M41D is getting a buff to 410 on the view range from 390. That'll be nice.
That'd be cool. Yeah,
Backward speed buffed, forward speed buffed by a couple kilometers an hour. Senlac is getting better dispersion and view range from 400 to 410. T92 is getting some pen buffs because that's the problem with the T92. Good lord. All right. The ISU 130 is getting some shell penetration buffs. Remember, that's the weird one that has a higher
yeah,
damage and lower pen premium round.
yeah. It's got the that's right. It's got the 152 millimeter, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it
Which is
does.
yeah, it's just another ISU, isn't it? Really?
It is, and it fires fast, but it does more damage. Does more damage with its premium round with less pen. So that premium round's going from 187 to 212. Going to
Right.
be a little
Okay.
bit more useful. And its
Yeah.
basic pen is going from 215 to 238, which is still pretty anemic for a tier 8
Yeah.
premium.
Yeah.
But it's going to be better. It's also got a shell velocity buff slightly from 898 to 960. Same thing for HE buff. The traverse is going from -2. Traverse angles -2 and 10 to -10, 10. Oh, does it only go 2 degrees in one direction? Holy cow! I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
That's
No, I didn't
painful.
know that.
So it's going to be 10 either side. That'll make it much more flexible. Getting some more power. It's going to be faster by a bit. It doesn't actually say what that is. Specific power and power going up, but it doesn't say it's getting a kilometer an hour boost. So that must mean it's only going. It's still going to have the same top speed apparently, but we'll get there faster.
Yeah.
And it's going to have some more ammo from 25 to 35. So we got some buffs coming on some of the premiums. They've been doing that for a couple months, 3, 4 months, buffing premiums along the way.
Yeah.
Sandbox is out again, guys, and this time they have incorporated the HE changes and the SPG changes.
Yeah.
So mine just updated. I might go check it out. I need to go test that because I asked the question earlier. Did we come down on one side or the other about whether you advanced your battle pass by playing Sandbox?
No, somebody did answer it. It's tokens for other rewards. It's not tokens for battle pass.
Oh, screw it then.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was. Apologies if I get it wrong, but I think it was either Cliffy or Charlie Horse, possibly. I can't remember, but way back one. Yeah.
Just around midnight demands an RNG buff to all tanks. I also demand that as well.
Yeah,
59 patent is atrocious. It needs a buff like you read about.
I want an RNG buff for Pilgrim. Just
No.
Pilgrim.
So
That's what I want.
now I'm tracking. This is yeah. Because the developers in the game is targeting only me.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
They've got it down.
Cliffy's got it. Nerf everyone.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, just leave my RNG alone. Just nerf everybody else.
Man, I think that's pretty much it. Other than this Russian survey you sent me, so Pilgrim found the Russian survey.
Yeah, just.
Now, was this like a Reddit thing, or on the? Was it on?
No, it's on the forum. So this was on the forum, and the reason why I picked it out, copied it, and sent it, for want of a better word, really, is because it gives us on the NA a flavour of what other servers are most concerned about. And it's funny that the RU server is as much concerned about the things that we on the NA server are concerned about. And actually, they did this survey. Now, they had over 10,000 people reply to the the survey. This isn't a wargaming survey; it's one of the players put it there. You know, you can put the survey on the forum thing. So, what's interesting is that the questions that were asked are very similar to the surveys we've had from players on the forums on NA and also on the EU. And the answers are very much the same. So as a sample size of 10,000 players,
Yeah.
which is possibly close to half of the NA server players, it is fascinating that across the world, the players of World of Tanks are all on the same page.
Yeah.
And yet Wargaming don't seem to take any notice.
Yeah.
For want
Yeah.
of a better word. You know, if you pick one of the questions and just throw it out there, it'll be something that for example, you've got to do the literal translation. The first question is, why are you losing interest in the game? 10,000 voters all replied to that. What repulses you the most from playing in its present state? Turbo cars, wheelies.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
team killing bots. You know, we've talked about that. You know, modes, artillery. It goes on and on.
Yeah.
You know, there's some, you know, so you could pick a question out of that survey, and pretty much fit it in on any of the servers across the world. So it is true.
Yeah, like you said, it's not just a case of it's only in the RU because we talk about that a bit. All right, is it different in the RU? Do they have, then we do have slight different opinions, but on the major points, it's pretty much everyone sees it. You know what I mean? The Emperor has no clothes. Everybody sees what's going on. Thank you for the call on the typo. I got that fixed. That's been a timer I've had for a long time, and I just never noticed. That's the old human brain filling in the right word. You know what I mean? Which one? It was the Streamlabs thing. 8-ball, I think, and it said Life I General instead of in general. And all the time, everyone's seen that happen.
Yeah.
Either they didn't tell me, which is fine, or we just all didn't see it. That's pretty funny.
Cool. Well done, Spitfire. Randall, yeah, you're right in that sense. It's the players that wanted to complete the survey, but with 10,000 players completing the survey, it's a fair enough sample size to say that, you know, that people have that similar opinion.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at the surveys that are on the NA forum and the EU forum, similar questions with similar answers, you've got to say that.
That is an argument, though, that people make a lot, and it's valid. It's something to think about when you're doing surveys. They're getting responses from the most engaged players.
Yes.
And
yeah,
you cannot make the assumption right off the bat that the most engaged players are interested in what the intermediate to less engaged in players, as far as engagement goes. So they actually, you know, that's a science that they, you know, probably apply numbers to and try to figure out.
Yeah.
How do we get the opinion of people who aren't really vocal? Yeah, Cliffy, exactly. Vocal minority,
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that they're not too far off.
Yeah.
You know,
I think if you look at the questions, not in detail, but as a generalisation, the general feeling about of those 10,000 people, I get it. I totally agree with you, Randall. But of those 10,000 people, the responses, if you look at the percentage of responses to the questions, the percentage, the high percentage answers are somewhat similar to the high percentage answers you see on NA server for surveys. That doesn't mean anything, but for me, it gives me a general feeling that we all know what we're talking about in that respect when it comes to the game, because we played it for so long. You know, we sort of have an understanding of the game and where it should go, in our opinion. So yeah.
Yeah, you do have to be careful as a developer. You don't want to be, you know, flapping in the winds, the flag flapping in the winds of your players' opinions, reacting every 2.5 seconds to the change in direction of wind. But at the same time, you need to keep that in in account. I guess.
Cliffy hits the nail right on the head. Are you whiners whine like EU and NA whiners, which is true.
Yeah. But not every complaint is a whine, you know. So there's that side of it.
Yeah.
It's always easy to dismiss it as you're just quit crying. Well, okay.
This is something you've brought up many occasions when you've done the survey live on stream. At the very last question, they ask you your age. I always add 100 years to it. They must ignore it because I've never.
Well, see, that's why I don't do stuff. But sometimes, that's my initial inclination. Put 1,572 or something in there, or maybe 1776. Something cool like that. But
let's bring 1776 into it, shall we?
Yeah, but I don't want my voice discounted because they may do that. They may very well go through it, and anyone who has some smart ass comment, like it doesn't work, they can't really. If they're trying to break it out by age, that's a bad data set, so they'll just chuck it. You know what I'm saying? So maybe your voice doesn't get heard right there. Thanks for the follow,
buddy.
Yato NA, appreciate it. We're talking coffee and tanks. What else we got, man? We're getting towards the end.
We are. We've done the hamster story, so that's out the way, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, pretty much. We peaked right there. I think we peaked. That was the end right there. It was the best thing we had.
It was.
I think that's
a competition if we want to do.
Oh yeah, let's do the competition. Let's knock that out.
Let's do Pilgrim's competition. Again, this will be who's fastest with the Google.
You take care of that. I'll be right back.
All right, buddy. The Google finger. So this is for 500 gold in game, which you'll have to give Guido your in-game name and server that you're on. But for 500 gold, here's a question. It is a 4-part answer. So you have to get your fingers going, get your fingers lubricated, get ready to go, clicking in Google. Some of you might actually know this. It's United States Navy question. That's giving you a heads up. United States Navy have unofficial certificates which are applied to various instances and happenings on board ship. I'm going to name 4 of them. What I need is the explanation on why. Very simple explanation on which certificate applies to what it is. Okay, so if I give you the 4 certificates that you can earn in the United States Navy. Oh yeah, brilliant knee jerk. I'm happy you got it. I wasn't sure whether you got it, but that's great, you got it. I'm going to give you the 4 certificates, and what you need to tell me is what is each one of those certificates for. Okay, here we go. If you're ready with your fingers, Google fingers, 500 gold. Right, the first one is red nose. Red nose. Okay, as in the colour red. Red nose, what's that for? The second certificate is blue nose, as in the colour blue, blue nose. What's that certificate for? The third one is the Royal Order of the Caterpillar Club. What's that certificate for? The Royal Order of the Caterpillar Club. And the final one is Pollywog. What's a Pollywog in the United States Navy? So if anybody needs that repeating, I'll go through it very quickly. Red nose, blue nose, the Royal Order of the Caterpillar Club, or Pollywog. So which of those 4, what do those 4 certificates actually mean you've done? Fingers on your Google buttons, let's go. I'll only take 4 answers that are correct. Anybody gets 3 out of 4, it's negated. It has to be 4 of 4 in one answer, so you don't get 3 attempts at it. You've just got 1 attempt to do it.
Boy, we're starting to get very serious about this.
Oh, it's 500 gold, mate.
That's a lot of rules for this coffee talk.
Well, it is a bit in it, you know, but I can make it easy, and then everybody would win it.
But I see why you're doing it. That way you don't have to fight through who got the 4th answer, right? Because if they get 2 and then
it was a bit,
who was first?
The first time we did
yeah.
it, it was all over the place. People were getting they were copying other people's answers. You know what it's like when you're at school, you got to hide your answers, you know.
Yeah. And good order and discipline, if nothing else, that's what this channel is all about.
That's what it's about. All 4 in one answer, left shoe.
Don't mess it up, guys. Come on.
Yeah, don't be throwing one answer in and then trying to throw another answer in. You've got to give me all 4 in one go. Sorry about that, but it's got to work that way.
I think my new VR goggles are on the way.
Oh, are they now?
Yeah, I got the HP Reverb G2.
Nice.
I think my rig will just be able to run it, but I don't know. I have a 1080 GTX Ti. I cannot get a 3080 to save my life. I'm trying to build a new rig,
you can allocate resources to it, can't you? You can. I mean, you'd have to something else would have to drop out for you to run your VR.
Well, it's only going to go so good. I mean, a 1080 is a great card, and it has been for the last 5 or 6 years. But you really want a 300 series to get the most out of your VR stuff these days.
Well, more and more games are becoming VR, aren't they?
Or a 3000 series, I guess.
Yeah, things are going to drop.
Training rooms? What do you mean training rooms, Randall? We have training rooms. You talking about free training rooms?
New training rooms, you're saying? New
training rooms.
Well, I can't remember what that was about. There was something I remember. Yeah.
Well, I know the other CCs have complained about that bitterly. Is why do we have to? First of all, and it's part of the way the game is set up. It's a bummer that you have to actually have 2 people to make a training room. That sucks. Yeah, Randall. I don't know. There was some technical reason for that because it's an instance of a game, and I don't know. Why that would matter necessarily, I don't really know. Other than the architecture, if it generates a game, there has to be 2 sides. That is pure speculation. I don't know why they always quoted some kind of game engine issue for why they couldn't do that.
Well, there's a point, Triple M. You can put a bot in on the other side. That would work.
True. Yeah, 100%. Have a default bot. Yeah, this training rooms use the same resources as a regular game, so I think really it's just a limiting factor. They're trying to limit them to as much as possible, and they cost money. Really, you know, you could. Well, that's not true. Training rooms count. They only use your tanks. I was thinking you could have a separate whole game by getting 30 friends to do training rooms, but what would be the point? It's going to cost you the same amount of money.
Here's a question. If you've got 2 accounts, which is no longer illegal, can't you...
Yes.
If you've got 2, you could put one on each side.
Yep. I've done that. I've started up my laptop. Yeah, I've started up my laptop with all my other accounts and got into together. The problem is that my other accounts don't have many tanks, so in order to kind of see things that I want to see, I need to... But what I can do is my sheriff account and my real account, they both have lots of tanks, so I can...
If you just wanted to do map investigation as opposed to worry about enemy tanks, you could put the enemy tank, it would be AFK on the base, but you could go into... Yeah, absolutely.
I think maybe...
Here we go.
Special
knows
K's
across
giving a
the-
shot.
Yeah, he's giving it a shot. Good knows, yeah. Well, you're answering. You're giving me answers that was not part of the question. So yeah, Golden Dragon. Oh, here we go. No, it's a big old type. Here we go. Well, there you go. Left shoe one. You've just won your 500 gold. Left shoe one has just won himself 500 gold. So I'll give everybody the answers. Unfortunately, special. Okay, I do apologise, but the Golden Dragon, the Golden Shellback, was not part of the question. But your man, there you go. Look at that. Lever playing on the spur of the moment. Blah blah blah. Crossing the Arctic. Yeah, yeah. Special K. I do apologise, but as I said, left shoe got it. Left shoe won. Can you let Guido know your in-game name and the server you're on, so I can sort that out for you, please?
Yeah, send it to
Well
me.
done, guys.
Send it to me in a whisper there. 500 gold going out. Very nice.
Cool. There we go.
Well, I
Good
think
on
that's
United
it
States
for
Navy.
today's coffee talk, man. I'm all out of words.
Yeah. You're all
Yeah.
out of words.
I kind of wrung out too. That was a lot of. Oh, I didn't talk about this. Did we talk about the T45 last week? I think we did. I'm still working
Yeah, you
on
did
the
mention it.
the review of this thing. I will say this: it's turned out to be better than I thought it might be. I don't hate it. Let's see how I'm doing so far. I have 12 battles, maybe 17. I have 17 now. 17 battles at 59% win rate, close to 1,000. My damage per game is 1,400, which is right there with the rest of my sevens. So I'm not gonna tell you this is the greatest tier 7 of all time, but I don't think it's nearly as bad as it looks.
Yeah. I think, again, there was a presumption about it, wasn't there? As always, there's a presumption about it that actually bears out. There's probably soft stats behind it that gives it a little bit of a boost compared to its stats on paper.
I mean, if I'm honest, it's pretty darn average, but it's not bad. Let's put it that way. This is an average
Average
tier
tank.
7. It's not a T29.
Fine.
You know, it's not a. I like the Tiger one quite a bit, but it's decent. You know, it's decent, not bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's 12,000 bonds decent.
Yeah, see, that's the other
That's-
thing, isn't it? Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of bonds. So I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, average equals bad. It's how you come at it though, Cliffy. You know, for me, I come at it as I like the whole game. So average is average. You know what I mean? But if you're a person who only wants, I'm not necessarily saying you are. I'm just writ large. If you're the kind of player that only wants to play the best and everything else is bad, I got it. But that's not how I rate stuff. You know, I don't
Well,
mind
each
playing it. I've
tank-
enjoyed playing it. I got a 59% win rate. Yes, tiny sample size. I don't think that's going to change that much. It's right in line numbers wise with all the rest of my tier 7s, heavies. It performs as well as any of them. Slightly worse, I guess, than some, which makes it average. And that doesn't bother me. I don't. It's fine. If I drive an average tank, and it's not painful to drive, whatever. You know, cool part of the game.
Right. Yeah. No. Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if it's an average tank, or if it's a tank that can perform within the parameters that it's supposed to, that's fine. That's what you want, isn't it? You don't want overpowered tanks all the time. 12,000 bonds, different matter. But yeah.
Yeah. How do?
Knee
Yeah.
Jerk, that's interesting. Knee Jerk had to go to the premium store to claim his prize. Normally, you go to your account management and go in that way. I don't know whether you tried that.
I had to go to the
I don't know
premium
what-
store.
Yeah, normally you just go to your own account management and it should be a gift in there for you. But it looks like he had to go to the premium store to claim it.
Okay.
If that's the new way Wargaming are doing it, then that's fine. But everybody needs to know that, don't they?
Yato, that is a great question because has anybody seen any info on? First of all, I haven't heard any whispers that there is even a Czech heavy. I guess I have heard whispers. They've talked about it in the past. Yeah, it's a great question. Is it going to have an autoloader? You know, will the 8s, 9, and 10 have an autoloader like the mediums do?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good question.
don't know.
That's a good question.
Don't know. It's a pretty bog standard heavy tank, guys. It's got some armor, not great. Turret's okay. Probably the most painful part about it is a 220 alpha gun, which is kind of anemic.
Anemic.
Yeah.
The problem you've got with these sort of nation tanks is a lot of them are copies of, you know, and I mean bigger nations, not in that sense, but and I'm not offending anybody's nation, but these nations that are big tank producers like Germans, the British, the American, the Soviet, and so on. A lot of these tanks are just copies of them, aren't they? So
Right.
where do you go? How do you bring in a heavy line if they're just copies of what the Soviets have got? You know, for that nation. I
This
don't
is
know.
kind of
It's been,
German-esque in its shaping,
yeah,
much like the rest of the Czech tanks until you get into the fantasy tanks at tier 8, the mediums with the
yeah,
autoloaders.
yeah,
Yeah, so I don't have a great answer for you, Otto. The big question would be, is it going to be an autoloader or not?
yeah.
I hope they don't all have anemic alpha guns on them. This has decent DPM, and it's 2086. So, like, what is 2400 for the 201? That's actually kind of bad DPM, isn't it?
Yeah, it is
Do I
big,
have
isn't it?
the? No, I don't. I had a comparison up there. Let's just take a quick troll through the tier 7 heavies just for giggles here. Let's see. This one has a crew in it. So the captured King Tiger is only 1800. My IS-2 is at 1900. My Tiger 1, which is known for DPM, is at 2297.
Right.
T-29's at 18. So actually, its DPM is decent. It's up.
Yeah,
It's up at the higher end. The 201 sits at 2426 without a crew in it. But this thing just spits rounds downrange, so that's kind of its thing. P88's at 19. So it's in the ballpark. It's near the top end. What's the KV3? 19. So there you go.
yeah, yeah.
So there's my non-answer answer, man. That's a fantastic question.
Okay.
It is slow, left shoe. It is slow. That is one thing about it. It is slow. That's kind of painful. In that regard, the Caro is really nice because it zings around pretty well.
Right. Yeah, 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 yeah. Again, like we've said before, there's a play style to almost every tank, and if you've got the patience to learn the play style, then you can have a decent game, I guess, in it.
Yeah. I mean, the
I
Caro's
don't think there's
blitzing
any.
around at. No, it's only
Yeah,
35. I thought it was 45. 35 and 30. Well, you know what? There you go. It's one of those total feeling things. It's a whole 5 kilometers an hour difference,
yeah.
which
Weird,
makes
isn't
it
it?
feel
It's
like
like,
this
yeah,
thing is mobile and this thing's a slug.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for everybody coming by. Very much appreciate it. The soft stats are, I don't remember, man.
Well,
Yeah,
it's separate coding that's behind the information wall. So whatever the stats are on paper, Wargaming, for the sake of balancing, shall we call it that, have a set of parameters which are applied to the tanks, and they're called soft stats because you don't get to see them.
well,
It's something.
we do get some of them, the ones that they
Yeah,
admit to. I'm not convinced there are any others, but that's a whole other subject.
yeah,
Neither here nor there. But I'm looking up tanks.gg, so give me just a second, guys. I'll call it up here and we'll look at it. Because what they're talking about, the published soft stats are things like when you're moving, your turret's moving, and after firing and all that kind of stuff. And I wish it was in the game client. It's so stupid that it's not, because it's known stuff. There's no
yeah,
reason that it shouldn't be there, but it isn't. So we'll go like this. So we've got the Skoda T45 soft stats wise, pretty low actually. That's not bad. zero point 0.7 for moving, tank traverse, turret traverse. 2.88 after firing. That's quite a bit. 1.92 for a damaged gun. So those are the known dispersion soft stats that you've got right there.
yeah.
Are there more? I don't know. Some people think there are. Some people don't.
Well,
There's
there is that speculation because
yeah.
it's all about the balance of that tank, and it's how I would assume it was how Wargaming would make those slight adjustments without being so obvious about it. They can massage the soft stats because something is slightly more than it should be.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
I
mean, I
don't
don't
know.
know if somebody's actually tried to do any number crunching on that and try to prove it yes or no.
Yeah,
Don't know.
that'd be one for 13 Disciple to look into, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Engine power and
Yeah,
ground resistance from tank to tank. Yes, absolutely. Engine power and
yeah,
ground resistance. So the soft stat of that, well, especially the ground resistance.
yeah,
30 is top speed, but that's falling off a yeah. That's true. There are some tanks based on the ground resistance and other things. Even though it says 30, you're not going to get that unless you're going downhill.
Yeah.
Some
The
tanks will
wind.
go right up to their top speed and hang out. Some
Yeah.
you just almost never get there, and it has to do with
Yeah.
all the rest of the stats, ground resistance, everything you guys are talking about. Absolutely. I guess end of the day, it's average. It didn't bother me to play. I'll finish up those 3 games sometime soon. I'll get you guys a review on that thing. I certainly don't think I would pay 12,000 bonds for it, but there are missions
A
to
lot.
get discounts.
Yeah.
But good lord, if you're going to pay, if you have anywhere near 20, you're getting the KPZ or the Concept 1B. You're not going to get this daggum thing.
No. No.
Heck no.
No. Not for 12,000 bonds. I mean, if it was it would be something to look at if it was considerably less. I'd say half, to be honest. 6,000 bonds would do it for me, but that's about it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody come by. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for the subs. Y'all rock. Like I said, I don't know when I'll be back again. Probably Monday afternoon, hopefully, if I don't go too late at work. And then sometime in the week, since I figure out when the heck my day off is, which I don't remember. But that's all I've got from the left side of the Atlantic.
And this is Pilgrim signing off from the correct side of the Atlantic.
See ya.